Do you know the Godforce, brother? Do you know the Christ Force? Do you know the Dragon Force, the primordial, volcanic, all-pervading, infinite, loving, supreme one who beats your heart, who moves your being, who illuminates your path, who provides this luminous bounty, this feast for the senses, all of the sense fields fully jubilant, fully overflowing? Are you attuned to that pristine God force, that pristine universal Christ, that universal field of grace that loves you so much, like a dear, dear grandmother loving and holding her granddaughter, her baby granddaughter in her arms? With that tenderness, you are held, you are loved by that force. And that force, brother, it is the key, it is the keystone. It's the keystone to your healing process, your homecoming process, your reintegration of your ancestry, your traditions, your culture, your society, your civilization, but evolving them in alignment with divine love, evolving them in alignment with God-led power. This God force is not only love and grace, it's also primordial, volcanic power and potency. It's like having the universal Big Bang at your back, having the Son of God, the blazing solar star of God, a gargantuan sun so vast that all of creation is just like a pinprick in its eyeball. Having that sun at your back and being a full force, radiant, vitalized emanation, an emanation of that sun, within love, held by love, led by the purest divine compassion and care for the upliftment of all beings in all worlds. That is what attunement to the God force, the soul force, can bring you. And this is absolutely the foremost, the most central missing ingredient for men today. This is what men are longing for. Men are so knotted up, so bottled up with so much shame, so much coagulation. And this is the all-pervading divine fire. What I'm speaking to is a literal all-pervading field of unconditional love that is always here with us, blazing in our heart of hearts. If we can discover it, if we can remember it, if we can peel back the layers and get really radically honest about the question, who am I? What is life? What are we doing here? If you get really honest with any of those questions and you leave no stone unturned, you discover a field of all-permeating grace, all-pervading love. And everything you're most abandoned, you're most exiled, you're most in the dungeon, shame-filled, gloppy textures and parts and aspects and energies, you have to learn to give them all to the blaze. Get out your brain, give it all to the Christ flame. Get out of your mind and learn to devotionally surrender it all to all-pervading God light, all-pervading Buddha field, all-pervading diamond heart of Sri Anandamayi Ma and Yogananda and Maharaji and Ramana Maharshi. The great sages, the great saints, they all knew this field, this God force, this all-pervading infinity. And it is the final jewel, my friend. It is the keystone. I don't say this lightly. I'm not asking you to take this on as a new belief or as a dogmatic proclamation. You have to discover the truth of this in your own experience, or it will not be valuable for you, brother. It won't be effectual for you. You have to discover the truth of this and learn how to dredge the bottom of the ocean. Bring up all your ancestral trauma, all your ancestral and childhood coagulation. You don't have to intellectually know what all of it is. You don't have to remember all the stories. You might remember many of them, but above all, you have to bring the energetic feeling and texture of it back into the light of consciousness. You have to feel all of it, or much of it. Much of it has to be felt in order to be released, and then you learn how to hold it. This is the most important piece. You learn how to let it be held in that all-pervading field of grace, that field of love, that field of divine supreme infinity, field of devotional sanctification and transfiguration. That is what sanctifies matter. That is what transfigures matter. That is what is supra-universal, beyond creation. If you can contact that within yourself, and we all know it, we're all intimate with it, whether we know it or not. It's the silence between thoughts. It's the silent place in your heart when you put your hand on your heart and you weep and you feel the space in the heart where those tears come from. That is the space I'm talking about. You learn to bring all parts and aspects into that sanctum of the heart of hearts and hold them there in that pristine smithy of the soul, that pristine sanctuary, that inner garden of God bliss, Christ joy, Buddha joy. You let it all be held there. That field knows what to do with all of it. It knows how to sanctify all of it. It knows how to purify all of it. It knows how to send it all home. It knows how to let it all set down its burdens and return to its original numinous template. And brother, so much of your genius, so much of your gifts, so much of your power is held and contained in that coagulated shadow, in your deep underbelly, in your pelvis, in your belly, in your root, in your arsehole, in your scepter, in your family jewels. Our literal body holds the record. The record is there. Everything that is blocking us is stored on some level in the body, even if it is also multidimensional. There is a trace, a signature, an energy in the body. And so when you learn to somatically bring forth all of these threads and hold them in that Godforce, hold them in that divine fire, that is when they can transmute. That's when they can alchemize. That's when they can set down their burdens, return to their original numinous template, and reharmonize with the Godforce, unlocking your innate, latent, creative gifts, your innate superpowers, your innate genius. It's there. Every child is a genius. Every child is a genius until someone beats it out of him, until someone tells him it's not okay to just be himself, until he runs up against the sharp edges of this world. And all of that is part of the process. All of that can be redeemed and reclaimed and eventually seen to be a perfect unfoldment, a completion, a way that you were gradually being guided home to yourself. And the first step to that is to prayerfully open to this Godforce. Begin to cultivate within your heart a sincere prayer, a sincere wish, a sincere desire and intention that God's love, Christ's joy, Buddha's joy, Lao Tzu's joy, whatever wisdom stream clicks for you, prayerfully ask that to be with you. Ask that to be in your bones, your body. Give your body over to that. Start to cultivate the capacity to have deep faith in that and give your life over to that. Surrender your life to that. And this might sound like a deep thing to do. Well, it is. It's the deepest journey there is, but it's the most worthwhile journey that there is. And brother, when you step into a space, a sangha, with fellow brothers who are doing this work, who are dredging the bottom of the ocean, doing the deepest healing work, transfiguring and alchemizing the deepest masculine shadows, collective masculine shadows, the deepest distortion of the masculine eros, and all of the ways that dragon power through being rejected, through being hated and denied and exiled, all of the ways that it twists and contorts and that it becomes expressions of abhorrent non-integrity, expressions of vileness in the realms of violence and distorted sexuality, distorted relationships to money and power and domination, bringing all of those darkest masculine shadows that so many men have no idea what to do with. The thing to do with them is to find them, love them, bring them into the field of unconditional love that allows them to set down their burdens, feel fully welcomed, feel fully loved, and transfigure back into their original radiant form, which is more like a beautiful dragon harmonized with the whole, in service of God, in service of love, in service of divinity, aligned with the most primordial grace. That is the deepest, deepest work for men on this planet at this time. The collective masculine shadow has wrought so much havoc on this planet, and I know it breaks all of our hearts. It's tragic, and we have to learn to hold it in unconditional love. That's the only way that we can alchemize it, that we can save all of those exiled prisoners within our individual and collective body, all these most shame-filled, most abandoned parts. The purest light of love has to be brought into all of the darkest dungeons. The highest light which has no opposite, the inmost light which has no opposite, the light which holds both light and dark, has to be brought into those darkest dungeons such that what resides there can be redeemed, can be transfigured, can be transmuted. And when you step into a space with men who are doing that work, who are doing the deepest shadow alchemy, shadow transfiguration work, doing the deepest work to integrate and embody their power, embody their masculinity and their femininity, regain access to the full spectrum of their being, bring it all into that sunlight of pure God nature, and let it all bake in that oven and become this reintegrated, supple, beautiful entree of deliciousness that you then serve to the earth, your own being. You give your own being as a specialty of the chef to the whole world. You turn your whole life into a prayer. That is the deepest form of masculine leadership, to give one's life over to God, to love, to grace, and to be served unto the earth as a gift. Feeling joy in doing it, the joy of self-giving love, the joy of self-giving love. That is the deepest men's work. That's the type of work we do in Council of Kings. Rise of Kings begins April 1st, 100-day accelerator for this work, 100-day incubator for your purpose, for your masculine sovereignty, penetration, purpose, connection to Godforce, deepest activation of your Godforce, your Dragon Force, your power, your shadow, bringing it all into the light of pristine, luminous awareness, diamond clarity, Buddha nature, God nature, Christ nature, and letting all of it be resolved there, letting all of it be harmonized with the whole. That is the kind of work that we will be diving into for 100 days. So, brother, if you are still listening, if you are resonating with this message, something in you is lighting up, something in you is harmonizing, something in you is percolating here, and I invite you to honor that. I invite you to honor that. I deeply, deeply believe in what we're doing here. I sat in 500 men's circles for a reason. What happens in men's circles is not fake. It's one of the realest things there is on this earth. It's It's one of the realest spaces on this earth. So brother, if you resonate, if you are looking for something real, something greater in your life, look no further. This is it. Rise of Kings. Hit us up, drop me a note, drop an application. Where there's a will, there's a way. Let's make it happen. One love, my friend. One love.